Okay, we are back. With the red embrace. And I'm ready to see what else happens, so let's go. The streets are still slightly lively as I commute to work compared to their usual abandoned state on my way home. Normally I'd keep my head down and be lost in thought during the walk to the diner, but I feel unusually bright today. Must be the adrenaline from my plan to invite Dom inside. I don't know why it's making me so nervous. When I take a turn down a side street, I see the shape of a familiar building not so far off. Isn't that the abandoned warehouse where Dom went to smoke the other day? I wonder if he's there right now, or if that's where he stays before he comes to the diner. Y'all, diner and dinner, I just keep going. I hesitate, but my curiosity winds up being too strong, and I duck inside the warehouse on a whim. Downstairs, the dark, dirty interior greets me with the familiar hum of the fluorescent lights. But it doesn't seem like Dom's here. There are a few fresh cigarette butts lying nearby, which means I might have just missed them. Oh well. Damn, why am I so disappointed? I'll get to see him tonight anyway, so it's not like it really matters that much. Looking for Dominic by chance? Out of nowhere, a powerful voice resonates behind my ears. I hastily spin around, coming face to face with a towering man. He's in a finely made suit and he doesn't look like a thug. What's he doing in a place like this? Oh no. I didn't even see him when I came in. Was he hiding? Yeah, do you know him? I do, indeed. He's quite an interesting young man, although a little misguided. He slowly rubs a hand along one cheek, watching me with eyes that are a vivid, piercing shade of red. Uh-oh. Wait, does that mean... Could this guy be a... Oh, where are my manners? I entirely forgot to introduce myself. My name is Bishop. I am, to put it crassly, the leader of San Francisco's two clans. He bows his head to me a little, his tone polite and reserved. If he's the leader of both clans, that must mean he's the top vampire in the city. The very thought makes me want to dash out of this room as fast as I can, but curiosity and fear are keeping me pinned in this place. Nice to meet you. I'm Ash. I guess you must have heard about me from Rex? Bishop slowly nods, narrowing his crimson eyes for a moment. Oh yeah, he talked about you quite a bit, including all your special qualities. Special qualities? Naturally. However, I didn't come here intending to discuss such things now. That can wait for another time. The real reason I wanted to speak to you, or Dominic, was a certain rumor that's been circulating about you two. Pausing for an extended moment, Bishop let his gaze drift up and down my body, and I hold back the urge to shiver. He gives off a strong, oppressive aura, one that feels like black tendrils wrapping around me and squeezing out my breath. You see, I don't allow my subordinates to engage in equal relationships with humans. It puts us all at great risk of being exposed just from one tiny slip-up, a misplaced word here or there, and our veil of secrecy might be torn open. He gives me a wild, shark-like smile. Are you trying to say I shouldn't talk to him anymore? When my voice uncontrollably cracks with disappointment, Bishop laughs, although it doesn't make his expression look any kinder. Please don't paint me out as such a villain. I have a different proposal in mind if you wish to hear me out. Bishop steps a little closer. Even though I want to move back, his crimson stare freezes me to the spot. You see, we're always looking for new, promising additions to San Francisco's coven. The vampires in Los Angeles, San Jose, even Fresno. Their numbers are steadily growing, and soon they might even pose a threat to us. He reaches out with a claw-like fingernail to point directly at my throat. I clench my teeth, doing my best not to show any signs of fear, and stare back into the bishop's unblinking eyes. From your scent, I can tell that you're a Strix, a human with strong, receptive blood. My scent? Now that I think about it, both Rex and Dom said something like that. If you joined us, I would have no objections to your relationship with Dominic. In fact, I'd even encourage it. After all, he's very lonely. Someone like you could keep him from acting out or causing us any further trouble. Bishop towers over me as he speaks, casting a long shadow that feels like he's swallowing me up. It's all too clear that he's giving me an ultimatum. Join us or forget about us. Otherwise, I'd be killed. So, what are your thoughts, my dear? I don't like being kept in suspense. So we can't tell him what he wants to hear? It's locked, yeah. It'd be worth the cost, only if not, it'd be worth the cost. Right? I mean, I hate that we couldn't tell him what he wanted to hear. Whatever, it's all good. I take a deep breath, then murmur the first words that come to mind. I'd consider it, yes. Becoming a monster? I never thought I'd willingly agree to something like that. But I don't have any close family or friends who would even realize I was gone. And if that meant I could still be around Dominic, then wouldn't that be worth the cost? There's nothing else important keeping me tied to my normal life. What, a job at the shitty diner? Good. I'm happy to see that you're a boy with common sense, Ash. Bishop's eyes narrow slightly, making him resemble a predatory cat with a satisfied blood-stained smirk. Do I have to decide right now? When I worriedly look up at Bishop, he smooths a hand through his jet black hair and offers me a shrug. I'll give you a day to think about it. Should you choose to reject my offer, however, I'm afraid I'll have to prohibit you from meeting Dominic. Through whatever means necessary. He's really not subtle about his threats, is he? But there's not much I can do to argue, so I offer a hesitant nod in reply. If you really wanted me to join you, though, why didn't you bite me forcefully? I doubt I'd be a match for a vampire. My question causes Bishop's eyes to glint with a dangerous amused light. Turning an unwilling subject often leads to troublesome side effects, my dear. Death is often one such effect, among others. I'd rather not see someone so promising wasted like that. You understand, I'm sure. Oh, I see. I grimace, unsure how I feel about being called a promising candidate for a vampire. It's a little comforting to know that they wouldn't turn me against my will, but an uneasy feeling still gnawing at my stomach. Excellent. I'm quite pleased that we settled the matter so efficiently. I'll see you tomorrow then. Make sure you consider things carefully, as I'm sure neither of us want a disagreeable outcome. Bishop offers me a sweeping bow, then turns around with a flutter of his long black coat. He walks towards the stairs, but my shock. The second he steps into the shadow, his form simply disappears. It must be some kind of power he has. The very thought sends unpleasant shivers down my spine. What a shady bastard. I unthinkingly mutter to myself, then freeze, praying he's not still lurking nearby. But there's no reply or angry vampiric hiss, so I guess the bishop's gone. Okay, good, we're safe. We're safesies. His presence was so incredibly icy that the whole warehouse felt a few degrees colder. Shit. What kind of awful situation have I gotten myself into? I don't want to give up my humanity, obviously, but I don't want to leave Dominic all alone either. I have a feeling that even if we try to keep our meeting secret, Bishop would still find out. How am I supposed to make a choice like this in a single day? I mean, I guess we need to see how close and how serious Dominic is for us. You know? After a little while, I wearily leave the warehouse and head out to the diner. For most of my shift, my head's in a daze. Yeah, I feel like that would be fucking traumatic. Having the ultimatum between, like, death and being a vampire, like, that's a lot to deal with, you know? It's kind of, like, abrupt that we have to think about it so quickly. We only have a day. But honestly, I would choose to be a vampire for myself. Because, I don't know, I like that. I like vampire lore and shit. Like, I like vampires. I have to ask customers to repeat themselves a few times as I'm so distracted I don't understand what they're trying to say. Bishop's offer weighs heavily on my mind, and my stomach is tied in an ancient knot. Oh, I hate anxiety, like when it gets into the pit of your stomach, it's terrible. Tightening every time I replay our conversation in my head. Finally, closing time arrives, and I let out a long, relieved sigh. As usual, Dom shows up at the door, coming to a stop a few feet in front of the counter. But this time, he stares at me with a small frown, studying my face intently. "Are you alright?" Yeah. I'm fine. Just kind of worn out, long shift and everything." Dom doesn't look like he's buying my excuse, and he keeps watching me with a worried narrowing of his clear blue eyes. Either I must look really terrible, or he's incredibly perceptive, or maybe some mix of the two. Let's head out. The smell of grease is making me more nauseated than normal. We leave the diner and start walking towards my apartment, completely alone on the deserted street. There's an unusually tense silence between us. I'd gotten used to Dom's quietness and normally kept up the conversation myself, but not today. I should say something about Bishop, but I just can't force any words out right now. It's like there's a lump in my throat. Only the sound of our footsteps on the pavement echoes around us. Dominic must sense there's something wrong because he avoids my eyes and walks further away from me than normal. Doesn't seem like there are any vampires hunting us today either. I almost wish they'd start up a chase just to break this awkwardness. We make it to my apartment before long, neither of us speaking a single word on the way there. Finally, when we arrive at the door, I pause and take in a deep breath. "Hey, Dom, you want to come inside for a bit?" He blinks at me in astonishment, like I just asked him to wear a tiara and have a tea party with me. Just for a drink or a smoke or something. We don't get to hang out very much, and, well, I'd like to talk a little more. Dom hesitates, his eyes dropping from my face to stare at the ground for a long few moments. But finally he raises his head and nods, and I can't help but grin in relief. "Come on in. Let's not hang outside until the sun comes up, yeah?" "Yeah." With Dom trailing at my heels, I head up to my apartment, and my heart starts to beat faster and faster. God, it's really happening. I actually invite him inside. I hope he doesn't think I'm acting weird or anything. I mean, this is just a natural thing for friends to do, right? Damn it, who am I kidding? I obviously like him way more than just a friend. A lot more, actually. Oh, well, here it is. Make yourself at home. Sorry in advance for any clothes lying around. I nervously chuckle after leaning down inside, watching him while his eyes dart around my apartment. I like it. A faint smile curls on his lips, lightening the shadow that's been there all night. Oh, really? I mean, thanks. I need some serious spring cleaning, though. As I scratch the back of my neck, uncertain of what to do next, Dom lowers himself onto the edge of my bed. The mattress springs creak a little under his weight, but he doesn't seem to notice. "So, how about a drink? I've got some wine in the fridge, a couple of cans of beer too. You drink that cup of coffee, so alcohol's good too, right?" Dom shakes his head at my offer. Instead, he just motions for me to come closer, beckoning with one hand. "Sit down." Okay. Swallowing, I step closer to him, not exactly sure if I should sit on the bed or pull up my office chair. Did he mean sit beside him or on my lap, idiot? Well, wait, what? You mean, if you don't hurry, the sun's gonna rise. That was quick. Everything escalated quick. He's on Dom's lap. Okay, whatever. After Dom's coaxing words, I finally end up settling in his lap, squirming a bit. It's not like I'm new to this kind of thing, but I can't calm myself down. "Why are you so nervous?" Dom asks me in a curious low voice with a blush instantly rises on my face. He noticed. Damn it. You're pretty bad at hiding how you feel. I think my 3rd grade textbook were harder to read. Now you're just being mean for no reason. Maybe I wasn't trying to hide it. Sorry. When I mumble and indignant, I don't know words, y'all. Listen. Dom just snickers, tightening his arms around me. The gentle but firm way he hugs my body against his is oddly comforting, and I find myself relaxing before I even know it. I guess he shares my feelings at least a little bit. The thought makes me happy. Warmth flowed through my chest. Can I ask you a question, Dom? How did you turn into a vampire? He goes silent for a long moment. I feel him squeeze the fabric of my jacket with fingers that tremble ever so slightly. I got bitten 10 years ago against my will. Wrong place at the wrong time. He speaks with a resigned calmness, not the bitter tone I was expecting. 10 years ago. He's been living like this for 10 years? Once I realized what I was, a monster, I cut myself off from everyone and everything. I'd hope I'd just disappear, swallowed up by the shadows one night, and everyone would just forget about me. The vampires here forced me into a clan, but it's all a joke. Creatures like us shouldn't even exist. There's no pride in what we are. I was tired, Ash. I came to your diner that night because I wanted to pretend I was human just one last time. Rex was nearby waiting to ambush me, and so I was planning to let him tear me apart after I left. I thought I'd revisit an old favorite spot, have my first cup of coffee in 10 years, and then head out for a final night. Dom. But when you treated me just like a regular customer, like a man rather than a monster, and after you didn't mention me to Luca as if you were trying to protect me, I guess I thought it'd be worth sticking around a little longer just to see what you might get up to. My eyes burn and a lump forms in my throat. If I hadn't, Dom could have... Shh, it doesn't matter anymore, Ash. It's alright. He strokes a hand through my hair with a tenderness that makes my held back emotion almost burst free. But I manage to swallow it back, and once I give Dom a little nod, he smiles at me reassuringly. I don't understand his strength. He's been living in solitude all this time, part of a world he doesn't belong in, and yet he's still so gentle and just so kind. If I had known all this back at the diner, how would things have been different? Ash, something happened today, didn't it? He tilts my chin up, the dark gazes me, and the sky blue eyes gaze into mine with a look of concern. Yeah, earlier this evening, I met Bishop. Dom's face immediately darkens when I mention Bishop's name. I'm guessing he isn't too fond of him, and I can see why. What did he say to you? His voice grows urgent, rising slightly with suspicion. He said that I shouldn't meet with you anymore unless I join the coven. Dom's fingers curl more tightly into the fabric of my jacket. He watches me with an intense, unwavering stare, as if he's trying to search for the contents of my soul. Unsure of those contents myself, I gaze back into his eyes, glimpsing my own reflection. Is that what you want? His earnest questions make me pause. The truth is, I really don't know, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to just accept a new life, hiding away from the sun forever. I don't really like the sun. You know? Yes, that's what I'll take that. Yeah, it's what I want. But the more I think about it, maybe I don't really belong here at all. Maybe becoming a vampire would break me out of this lonely, unchanging life I've been living for God knows how long. Maybe I've been more alive as a vampire than I would as a human. And maybe I could finally have someone else at my side. Yes, it is. I don't think I'd mind. For a moment, I sense a conflicted feeling in Dom's expression. He tightens his grip on my back, pulling me closer. If you accept his offer, you have to make me a promise. Okay, what's that? The look in his eye is so serious I instinctively tense up a little bit. Don't accept the bite of anyone besides me. Don't let anyone else turn you. Otherwise, something might happen. Part of his words sound uncertain, but the hesitance in his voice makes me wonder if he's hiding something from me. Earlier this week, he was talking about something different in my blood. Could this be related to that? Bishop, too, mentioned the same thing. Strix, he called it. Promise me, Ash. Dom interrupted my thoughts with an urgent murmur, as if he's worried I might forget what he's saying. Right, of course, I promise. My reply seems to set Dom somewhat at ease, and his impatient gaze softens. Puzzled, I start to open my mouth to ask what's so important about accepting someone else's bite. But at that moment, Dom presses his face towards mine. It takes me a second to realize that his cold, soft lips are smashing against my own. But it takes even less of a time for me to realize I don't mind, not one bit. I curl my arms around Dom, pressing back tenderly into the kiss. He pulls me down against him with an overwhelming rush of passion. Everything about you drives me wild. Your scent, your kindness, your pretty face, all of it. Dom breathes those low words against my skin, quickly sealing my lips again with another fierce, hungry kiss. His tongue insistently presses its way forward, and I let it tease inside my mouth, sliding along my own. There's a sweetly smoky taste on his breath, tinging my senses delightfully as our tongues dance and twirl together. I let out a soft whimper when his hands slip under my shirt, drifting across my skin. When he captures my bottom lip between his fangs and playfully nips at it, a delicious tingle shoots down my spine and I clutch onto him tighter. In those beautifully clear blue eyes, there's a heated glimmer that watches me lovingly. If only that gaze was fixed on me forever. Why can't it be? You're so warm, every inch of you. He purrs out with a mixture of awe and delight, his cool fingers tracing up and down my spine. They explore all the curves and dips of my body, teasing around my hips, slipping around my chest too. Well, what good is body heat if there's no one to share it with? I close my eyes, drowning in the sweetness of his tongue, tracing the corners of my lips, while those large, gentle hands caress my entire figure. This rush of excitement. It's not just from physical stimulation. It's a deep and comforting warmth, as if every ounce of tension's gone from my body. I don't need to keep any secrets. Oh, I feel like I can entrust every part of myself to Dom. I don't need to keep any secrets or hold anything back. Please stay with me, Ash. Dom whispers against my lips, his words so soft that I can barely hear them. But the pleading tremble in his voice makes my chest ache, and I nuzzle against his cheek affectionately. I will, Dom, no matter what happens. He heatedly kisses me again as soon as I reply, like he's desperate to seal my promise into an unbreakable bond. I squeeze my arm around his neck, wanting to reassure him that I don't plan on letting him go anytime soon. The rest of the night becomes a blur after that, filled with so much passion I can barely keep up. Finally, I drift off to sleep, intoxicated by Dom's scent and the comforting embrace of his arms. The only thought in my mind is a desperate hope for this to last forever, and a prayer that I'll be strong enough to make the right choice. I roll over in bed, trying to curl up against Dom. He's not here? When I sit up straight, I realize the sunlight's streaming faintly in through my apartment window. No sign of Dom either. He must have left before dawn. Shit. The memories of last night fled back when an ache runs through my body. He is a monster in some ways, I'll give him that. The sheets are gonna need to be changed. I'll do it later. I roll out of bed and put on some coffee before settling down to work, all while wearing a happily sleep-deprived smile. As I work on my latest commission, though, my mind keeps drifting between Dom and Bishop. The colors of my drawings grow steadily darker, like they're mirroring the uncertainty in my heart. I have to keep myself from adding grim shadows and moody lighting, otherwise this picture of a cute couple is going to turn into a gothic metal album cover. Even as night draws close and I head out on my way to work, I keep nervously weighing Bishop's offer in my head. How the hell am I supposed to just make a decision like this in one day? He gave me the ultimatum yesterday, so I guess he'll come back to seek me tonight. The very thought sends shivers down my spine. Bishop isn't outright aggressive like Rex, but he's 10 times more unsettling and radiates that frigid, intimidating aura that makes it hard to think straight. Damn it. There's no way out of this, is there? Coffee? Sure, coming right up. I put on a forced grin as I take a customer's order. When I start brewing a fresh pot, my mind flashes back to where Dom first came to this rundown place. The way he seemed so confused about what to do. I guess that'd happen if your diet doesn't normally include anything except blood, huh? I think that was the moment I really started to fall head over heels for him and his cute, quiet ways. I have to do it. I mutter unconsciously to myself as I pour the black liquid into an empty mug. I have to accept Bishop's offer. I won't leave Dom here alone. My determination grows stronger and stronger as my shift continues, and by closing time, I feel grimly confident. Why is Dom not showing up though? He usually always walks to the door right now. Did he get delayed? I lean against the counter to wait, drumming my fingers impatiently on the grimy surface. But as time goes on and there's no sign of Dom, a foreboding feeling sinks in my chest. Dom. Damn it, something must have happened to him. What if he's injured? Or what if he's trying to avoid me? That doesn't seem like him, but the warehouse. If he's not there, then that's the only other place he could be. Grabbing my keys, I rushed out the diner, only barely remembering to lock the door behind me. I dashed down the empty street, tearing my way towards the warehouse as fast as I can. Please be alright, please be alright, please be alright. Repeating those words like a prayer, I run down the dark alleyway as a cold sweat breaks out on my back. Finally, I arrive at the warehouse and frantically tear inside. Dom, are you here? Ash? A pained voice calls out to me and I freeze in my tracks. Ah, you're late. I'm glad that you could make it regardless. Bishop steps from the shadows, approaching me with long, purposeful steps. Bishop? Why are you... What's happening? Two large, heavily built men are holding Dom in place, grasping onto his arms. He struggles in their grip, but even his powerful physique is no match for the two vampires. Their fanged grins gives that much away. I believe I explained this already, but our beloved Dominic here was very knowingly breaking the rules of our coven by playing around with the mortal. He was evidently planning to escape with you tonight, despite being fully aware of the agreement we discussed. Bishop grasps my chin with a cold hand, forcing me to turn away from Dom and look up at him instead. You didn't think I'd let him get away without proper punishment, did you? No, please. I'll do whatever you want, just let him go. I stare pleadingly into those blood-red eyes, trying to fight off the crushing aura that surrounds Bishop. Is that so? Well, I might be persuaded to release him. His voice drops a little, taking a hit of provocative growl. Provided you accept my offer and let me be the one to turn you. Dominic seems to catch Bishop's low words, and he starts to struggle even harder, gritting his teeth together furiously. No, Ash, don't listen to him. You can't. You'll turn into... One of the men holding Dom abruptly kicks his stomach, causing his words to turn into a gasp of pain. Don't interrupt, Dominic. I thought I taught you better manners than that. This is a matter between myself and our lovely Ash here, and I believe you forfeited your right to have a say in the matter. After scolding Dom in a quiet, taunting voice, Bishop turns back towards me, waiting my answer with an expectant smirk. I'll do anything to help Dom. That's our only answer. There's only one way I can help Dom. I'll let Bishop turn me and maybe he'll let Dom go, or I'll gain powers I can use them to free Dom. Fine. I accept. Biting my lip, I nod reluctantly at Bishop, whose eyes light up with a clear satisfaction. Wonderful. I knew you had excellent judgment, Ash. I'm just glad it won't go to waste. Bishop pulls me into his arms, tilting my head back to expose my neck. Ash, you can't. Bishop... Dom, don't worry. I murmur under my breath as I close my eyes, allowing Bishop to embrace me. His lips brush over my skin, but I block out the sensation, trying to think of Dom instead. No, just relax. Soft, hypnotic words purr into my ear, and all tension leaves my body. A moment of unnatural silence passes, and then a splitting agony runs through me. It starts out as an overwhelming pain, but gradually it begins to subside. Bit by bit, as Bishop drains my blood, a tingle of pleasure courses along my spine. I start to lose consciousness, succumbing to the hot, delightful sensations that make me feel numb and lightheaded. And just before I completely black out, open your mouth and drink. Drops of something sweet and metallic fall into my tongue. It tastes amazing. I could feel it pumping through my veins, bringing me back. The hunger. So strong. It's aching and burning, like I'm gonna burst if I don't feed. Ugh. My own ragged breathing echoes in my ears. This is what you wanted, isn't it, Dominic? No. No. A distant cry, but more importantly, a delicious scent, sweeter than anything I'd ever smelled before. I want it. Ash, Ash, no. Who did we kill? So red, so sweet. I drank and drank, feeling my body go limp in my hands. How admirable, my new perfect creation. A hand gently strokes the back of my head, but I ignore it instead, focusing on draining every last drop. Once you're tamed, you'll make a lovely addition indeed. Although it's a shame you lost your wits after all. The hunger subsides a little. The corpse of a tall man in a dark jacket lies before my feet. But I'm still hungry. I want more and more. I want to drain the whole world dry. There's a hole inside me now, and I don't think it will ever be filled. That's right. I'm missing something, aren't I? No, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore except this hunger. More and more and more. Until the whole world has died a wonderful, painful red. And that's it, folks. That was Red Embrace. I'm assuming we got a terrible ending. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys.